Hey folks, thank you so much for joining us for On the Couch with Fouch. This is the interview series for all of your favorite Southern gospel music artists. We bring them to you in a sit-down atmosphere, and we try to get to know them on a more personal level. If you're watching for the first time, make sure that you hit the like button if you're watching on Facebook, comment, share the video. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button here on this channel so that you will know when we post these interviews in the future. And as always, you can go to onthecouchwithfouch.com and sign up for the email list so that you get them directly to your email inbox. We are at the 2017 National Quartet Convention, and this is actually the first interview, and this is Riley Harrison Clark, and he is the tenor singer for Tribute Quartet. Riley, how are you doing tonight, man?
Fantastic. Absolutely.
Are you, let's see, when we're recording this, it's Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And we just really started, it may be Sunday night for you guys. Okay, you're answering the question without saying anything.
I'm sorry.
You dozed off. So you tired yet? You good to go?
I'm in about third gear.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got a few more to go. I'm not too bad.
Well, those of you that have been to NQC before, you know it's a great week, but it can be very tiring. Yeah. And we love it. We love being here, but sometimes you just got to take those energy supplements or bring that energy drink or whatever with you. Load up on coffee, whatever you do.
I think I've had like 6 cups today.
So you, maybe a little overdone.
Well, we'll see about midway through this interview.
Right. So you're actually the last member of Tribute Quartet that I've gotten an interview with, and I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings because I've saved the best for last.
Aw, shucks. I was wondering when you were going to ask me.
Well, I finally got around to it, and I'm thrilled to have you on the couch for an interview, and I've been looking forward to it. You guys have submitted some wonderful questions, and I can't wait to hear the answers. And for those of you that have followed along for a while, I have my trusty notepad, and I'm going to be grading you on every answer you give.
Oh, good.
So the first one we're going to start off with is from Janice Ditterline, or Ditterline, however you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I messed it up. When were you saved? Right off the bat, man. Let them know about your salvation.
You know what? I'll keep this short. At 12 years old, I was asked a question by my children's minister. Would you like to go to heaven? Sure, I would. Well, then pray this prayer. So I did. And for numerous years after that, I'd try and decipher, is this confusion from the devil?
Right.
Or is it conviction from the Holy Spirit? The fact that I didn't feel what I had seen take place in other people's lives. And then I started doing this. And it was actually 2 years ago on a hymn sing tour. We had done a hymn sing in Florida the night before, and we're in the middle sitting in a Walmart parking lot. And nearly every night I'd get on the bus after we'd sing, and I'd wonder, because I would lead the altar call. I'd lead people in the prayer. Thank goodness the Word of God does not return void, and it doesn't really matter who's talking.
Right.
Because I would every night. I'd give that altar call, but I'd see a change. And I'd think to myself when I get in my bunk, I don't remember that. So I knew what he did. I was raised in a Pentecostal home. I knew it all. I'd seen it all. I'd seen miracles happen. I'd prayed for things, and things happened. But I had never, knowing what he did and that he did it for me, I'd still never quite accepted it. Wow. And so then I woke up one morning and couldn't hardly talk. And I'd moved. The guys wanted to go eat, so I moved from Walmart to where we ate. And I said, "Guys, I'll meet you inside." And I couldn't sit still any longer. I called a pastor friend of mine. I said, "Hey, we've got to talk about something." And so in a Food Line parking lot, that's when I gave my heart to Christ for real.
Cool.
And so that was just a couple years ago, actually.
But when you're telling that story, and that's awesome because there are other stories of people in gospel music through the years that have a similar story. Have earlier when I was a child, I professed, but later in life, even when traveling and singing and all this, I finally realized, okay, I need to go that next step because I don't think I really got it nailed down. Well, and when you get it nailed down, you know.
Oh, definitely so. And things change.
Right.
They have to. And so what's interesting, two things. The morning that I woke up and couldn't sit still, a pastor friend of mine that I love dearly, believe in, posted on Facebook that the night before he had the same experience. Now, he was terrified to post because he has a church. He's led a church for 12 years, and his people are there believing he is who he is, whatever. And I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't read that, it's possible I'd still be fighting, because it was that moment that made me go, it's not confusion anymore. It's conviction, and it's real. And then that being as how we were on the hymn sing tour, we were parked in Walmart next to the Wisnitz, Trammell, and everybody else. And that morning, I actually went to play a joke on Susan. She was sitting on the bus with the window open. I was going to throw a fake rat inside, and it'd be fun. Anyway.
Just random stuff like that.
So I walk on the bus, and Mark Trammell's sitting up there with all of them. They started talking, and somehow it came up, and Trammell shared his story. And his story is very similar.
Yeah.
It was encouraging. That was, and I struggled with, do I post this on? Everybody puts everything on Facebook. Do I put it on Facebook? Everybody already thinks I'm saved. Everybody already believes it. But then I thought, had that pastor not posted on Facebook, and I can honestly tell you, there were hundreds of people commented and were encouraging, and there were numerous that commented and said, you didn't make me second guess, you just kind of confirmed to me. And in that story, I don't want anybody to second guess their salvation, but I do want them to listen to a prompt if there is one, So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
and I love to hear those, because it's encouraging, and we want to come along those people and say, hey, if you don't know, get it settled, and let's encourage those people. Let's, like you said, let's be positive about it. Let's say congratulations, we're so thrilled for you. So that's awesome. I actually did not know that. I don't remember you posting or telling or anything like that. So that's
January
awesome.
the 11th.
Very cool.
2 years ago.
So, you're talking about being on the hymn sing tour and everything, and so the next, I guess there were several questions that came in just about your music singing history, your journey, and with you mentioning being on the hymn sing, and we already mentioned you being with Tribute Quartet, the theme amongst that music journey or your career, it always came around to the group you're with, Tribute. So what has your journey been like in music, getting to Tribute Quartet, and then now being with them?
Well, I had no desire to sing as a kid, but I was 12 years old, and my mom was in the choir at our church, and we were working through a Christmas program, and so on a Saturday, a vocal coach came to our church who normally came, Steve Hurst. He'd worked with a choir. We had a large choir, great choir at that time, and so I was sitting on the front row. I knew all the stuff because Mom had been listening to it in the car constantly. And Steve needed somebody to fill the spot in the alto section. So he said, hey, will you come up, stand here? Sure.
Right.
So I did, and standing there, I started to sing because what else do you do? So I started to sing, and we ended up, he was walking through all of the folks in the choir, and he stopped, and he said, hey, come over to the piano for me. And so I did. Now, I'm going to preface the rest of this with, my church didn't have a hymnal. We didn't sing a lot of older songs. And so I was raised in the First Assembly Church, and then we had moved to a church, a non-denominational church. And we did a lot of worship stuff, a lot of older worship stuff, but we didn't do hymns. And I certainly didn't know a lot about Southern gospel music at that point. So we walk over to the piano, and he said, you're not going to know this song, but I'll feed you the words, and I just want you to sing what I play. And he started to play, oh, what a Savior. And everybody stopped, including myself, thinking, where did that come from?
Wow.
And he started to modulate up, and he about four steps. And of course, 12 years old, I was singing soprano. So anyway,
me too at 12.
So anyway, that's
how we've had different journeys though since 12.
Most definitely, yeah, because I'm still singing the soprano. Anyway, so that right then I wanted to sing. I thought about nothing else. And I joke all the time, I wanted to be a mechanic before that. I love cars, still do. Love to work on them, love to be a part of that. And so I tell people all the time, now on the road, in a bus, I still get to live both dreams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a mechanic and singing
Right.
tenor. So anyway, that was the start. I started singing, started working with numerous professional coaches around the country at that point, and loved to do it. Every day I'd wake up and think, can I learn something else? Can I do something else? Down the road, out of high school, I went for a short period of time. The director of the Voices of Lee, Danny Murray, called me through a connection we had, and he asked, the day school started, he called me and said, hey, Lee's starting up this year. Would you like to be in the Voices? I said, sure. I had no intentions on going to college. If I did, it would have been to a Christian school that was not going to be so in depth because I don't do school well. So I said, I'll call you back. And I thought it was so out of the blue that he called. This has got to be a God thing.
Absolutely.
So I went, packed all my stuff, went. 2 days, I'm there. Got there, I don't know what I'm going to school for. I don't know what classes I'm going to take, but I showed up. And I was there for about 2 months and didn't take very many classes. I think I may have taken one test, and I'm not going to tell you the outcome of that. And but 2 months, sure, yeah. 2 months, and I had realized in about a month and a half time that I didn't have a peace about being there, and I wasn't sure what it was. Again, I thought it was so out of the blue. This has got to be God.
Right.
And then I get there, and I was singing baritone there, which obviously I don't do well. And so that was a change for me. And in that process, I wasn't using my upper register a whole lot. So long story short, I went to Danny. Thank you for the opportunity, which was a fantastic opportunity. Those folks are great. Danny's a great guy. But I went home. And I got home there for a couple months, running heavy equipment. And I was on my face one Wednesday morning, 2:00. I had been leading worship at a kids' camp. And I said, Lord, I've got to know where I'm supposed to go. What am I supposed to do? If it's not singing, tell me what it is, because nothing's working out, and I'm ready for whatever it is. And it was that same morning, 10:00, that Gary called me and said, "Hey, our tenor's pulling off the road. Would you be interested in joining?" I said, "Are you serious this time?"
Must
be. So once again, packed up all I had and came to Nashville and started working. And that was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, 2017, wow. June. So
great.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible journey.
So what we don't get to hear a lot about from the artists that don't MC.
Sure.
So I don't MC. You maybe
I don't
share
do
a little bit.
I do more at the end.
But what we don't normally get to hear a lot of from those that don't MC in the concerts is your heartbeat.
Sure.
As an individual. And so I was just curious when you were sharing your story and your salvation and everything. What is the heartbeat of Riley Harrison Clark? What does that look like? I mean, can you put that into words?
Well, I'll start with this. When I started singing that day at 12 years old, I went home and I went straight to my room, and all I started to do was sing that line over and over. That was the only line of that song I knew. Oh, what a Savior, oh, hallelujah. That's all I knew. And I sang it over and over and over. And quickly, even at 12 years old, there were numerous things that came up. And I realized that singing was the only way at that point in time in my life for me to communicate the way I wanted to with God. I'd try and pray. I'd try and read my Bible. I'd try and talk to somebody. But it was singing by myself on the back of a tractor. That was the way I could communicate with God, I felt at that point. And from then on, it created in me worship. Worship is what I live for. And in the church I grew up in, again, it wasn't hymnals, but the worship music that it was thick, and it was full of meat. And that began to change my life. I would start going through things in life that maybe one day will be in a book. And I stayed true to that fact. There were so many times I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to pray. So I'd sing. And that began to generate inside me a love for not just me going to that place, but seeing people go to that place. Right. And being able to be a part of leading them there. Not because I'm special, but it's because of what called to do. And I know that's what I'm called to do, is to lead people there. So anytime I get the opportunity, there are numerous opportunities in doing this, that concerts aren't just a concert, and they end up being something more and blatantly more.
Right.
And I'm able to see God move us into a different atmosphere. So as long as whatever avenue I can do that, my heart will be so full, because that's it. I want to see people go to a new place in worship with
and
God.
I know that these people appreciate and love that are watching. Whether they know you personally or not, they can sense the genuineness in your response. I sense it sitting here. Like, you are very passionate about that, and I feel that, and I know that goes through to you watching as well. So whatever that looks like to you in the future, we'll see. Whatever happens.
I'm open for anything.
So I want to get to a couple fun questions. And this one, please, just it's going to have to be real quick. We don't want to spend much time on this one. So Ramona Wuff, sorry if I got that wrong, wants to know, what's it like traveling with such different personalities? Those of you that know Tribute
Whatever
Quartet,
do you mean? I'm
where
not
that's
entirely
going.
sure where that's coming from. Oh, we have chain link on his bunk, and a certain time of night we put him in and we close it up.
Perfect. There you go.
Quick enough?
And if you don't know what we're talking about, comment below or something, and we'll let you know.
No kidding.
Debbie Sandling wants to know your favorite junk food.
Oh, gosh. Chips all day long. It doesn't even matter.
I was going to say brand, kind.
You know what? The guys will tell you, I can't eat something by itself. If it's spaghetti, I've got to have a bag of Lay's potato chips. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Sprinkle some Doritos
but
on top there or something.
It's really true. I have to have chips with almost everything. So chips.
Wow, okay. There you go.
Generally any kind.
But if you get healthy ones, then it's no longer a junk food,
It's no longer a junk food.
But you probably don't do that. You probably go for
don't at all.
All right, so to end out this, thank you so much, man.
You're
this has
welcome.
been awesome.
Thanks for letting me.
Tell them real quick, and then I got a couple things I want to do. Tell them real quick where they can find out more about you.
Sure. About me on Facebook, Riley Harrison Clark, and then Instagram, Twitter, all of those social media outlets I am on. And
I know Tribute is as well.
Tribute is on everything /Tribute Quartet, and obviously tributequartet.com.
And you can go catch him in concert. You can connect with him, reach out to him. The last thing I want to do, in the past I do a little thing called the Fouch Zone. And those of you that have watched this, you know what the Fouch Zone is. But I'm going to change it up a little bit. I've done this a couple times before. I just want to do a little word recognition. So what I want you to do is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say this word, I just want you to blurt it out there. All right?
Sure, yeah.
So the first word I have is sleepy.
Always.
Oh, okay. Scrawny.
Not me anymore. Not since being on the Quartet bus.
Not since those chips with everything I eat.
You aren't kidding. And the two kids, they really did it for me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Redhead.
Do I have to?
Chain link fence?
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever you said.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
An NQC.
Can we refer to Sleepy?
Yeah, Sleepy, or the very beginning of it when you dozed off.
Yes, most definitely.
All right, that's so much fun. I love doing that. I've done it a couple of times before. You don't ever know until you put someone in a little spot like that.
Yeah.
Say, here's a word. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Man, thanks so much.
Hey,
I've had a blast.
Thank you for letting me.
I know you guys have loved hearing his heart. Yeah. I know you've loved his testimony. And if you would do me a favor, reach out to him, comment, follow him on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Follow Tribute Quartet. Get to know these guys. They're great guys. And I know you've enjoyed seeing all the other guys in the group and now catching up with their tenor, Riley Harrison Clark. Hey,
thank y'all.
So to end things out, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And please go to onthecouchwithfouch.com. Sign up for the emails. Like I said earlier, like, subscribe, comment, wherever you're watching. Just follow along for all these great interviews with your favorite Southern gospel music artists. Thanks so much for watching. And thank you so much for being a part of this interview series. God bless you guys.